Welcome.
Welcome in, guys. So we're back,
We are back.
and God, so much I feel like has happened. One thing for me very recently, but I won't. I'm just saying, I might flesh that out over time, but I'll just say that I am now in between jobs. So you guys might be seeing maybe a little bit quicker than every 2 weeks podcast, maybe, because now I'll have more time to record. I don't know, we'll see. But I'm excited about that right now. I'm excited about having more time for things and mental health break. Because it was much needed. It was a very mutual understanding is the best way I can go in. But other than that, sorry for the last episode. Every time that we do an episode, it is
It
kind
sounded
of
like Dookie.
it was yeah, it was it like we're still experimenting with recording because like I've said in the past, any podcast I've had has always been virtual. And so this is like my first in-person experience. So experimenting with mics, and I'm learning a lot though. I'm learning a lot about it, and we're figuring it out as we go. So now we're sharing a mic, and hopefully it sounds better. But if it doesn't, then we'll keep getting better every episode. Appreciate y'all's patience for that. Those two that are watching. It's Ryan, we love you for listening. Well, and myself, I guess, because I've been re-listening.
And Mom.
You told her about it?
No, I figured she was already knew.
Oh, okay.
Like, I wonder if neither of us tell her, how many episodes is it gonna get? We're gonna be like on our 500th episode, then she's gonna find out about it. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's one of those things. It's like it's not that I don't want to tell her. It's just like it's just one of those extra things. Like because I haven't even got around to telling her about my job.
yeah,
So.
no, but like, what would be cool is if like on our episode anniversary of however many, we brought her in and got her reaction to finding out that we've had a podcast for like 6 months and she doesn't know about it.
Like on
That
the
would be
1 year
funny.
anniversary, we bring her into this room and be like, we've been doing a podcast. You're gonna be in it right now.
Yes.
Now she would like die inside. 'Cause she'd be like, what's happening?
Yes.
Am I on camera? I'm like, no, it's audio only right now.
Hopefully in a year we'll have camera and microphones and everything figured out.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot different whenever like me and Ashley get a house, because like I'm gonna have so much more room in like studio to do stuff, and you know, but other than that, do you have any life updates that you would like to share? I mean, you've been going to school, and we already kind of talked about that a little bit, but like you know.
Loving school.
Nice.
I know that we've talked about, like, on the podcast, anxiety a little bit. So, I mean, I guess this kind of ties into it. I did restart therapy this week.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It was, like, great. I loved my therapist. I had a lot of anxiety just going to therapy because I was like, what if I don't like her? Like, what if we don't get along? What if it's a dude? And then I can't talk to him about stuff I would normally talk to a girl therapist about because I feel like weird about it. But it was not a dude. It was very much a girl, and we got along great. We've talked about on here before, or he has mentioned that I am a coke addict, not drug, but actually.
I was like, even me for a second, I was like, wait a second, what?
No,
Coca-Cola addict.
There you go, Coca-Cola addict. And it's literally just Coca-Cola. It's not like, I mean, Dr. Pepper and Pepsi, they're good, but like Sprite and like root beer, like everything else that people were referred to, I guess it depends on where you're from, but like Coke, no, it's just Coca-Cola. As soon as I walked in, she already had one for me, and I was like, how did you know? And she's like, I didn't. I just figured you want something to drink, and we have tons here, so if you don't want that. I was like, no. Like, every time I walk in this room, I'm like, I'm going to want one.
Right.
So, yep, it was a great experience, and I'm excited to see her again this week. So, I guess that's good because I was really worried about having to like shop around, quote unquote, for therapists.
Shop around, yeah.
And like that's
Feel it
literally
out.
what she told me. She's like, "Don't be scared to never come back and go to a different one." I'm like, "No, I want to come back. You have Coke." I'm like, "I want to come back."
You've got that Coke. I'm telling you, you got a table for it. You need a flat platform.
How do you know so much?
No, honestly, it's funny because I was watching a stand-up special with somebody saying like Coke addicts look for flat surfaces everywhere. It's like it's probably true, but
That is true.
but
From what I know in movies, I don't do Coke.
yeah, I've never. A lot of people would be surprised. Like, and a lot of people, I think, watching my food channel, probably have a lot of assumptions, just by my look or whatever. But like, a lot of people think that I have like tried weed and stuff like that, and never once ever had an interest. I just never. That's not to say like I'm a great person because I didn't ever try weed or what. Like, sounded like freaking whatever her name was from Monsters Inc. Mike Wazowski. Yeah, I've never tried weed. Never tried a drug in my life. Most I've ever gone with smoking is like cigars. And then I lost interest because one time I inhaled it and I was just like, okay, I'm done. Like, it's not worth the money and just, I don't know. It's like quit now, right? Before it becomes the addiction, right? And I have no doubt in my mind I could have became like a smoker, like as for cigarettes or anything else. But I just chose to stay away from it, just a life choice. But that's not to say I'm any better than anybody else or anything. It's just I just choose not to do it. But
Yep.
But Lacey vapes.
Yeah, things
not to throw her out like that. I'm not trying to, but I just, you got. Look, it's like, in my opinion on that, and this is me being dead serious, like, I'd rather you do that than anything.
Yeah.
Because, like,
that's the worst I do.
Because, but.
Yeah, I don't really have an interest in anything else, to be honest. I mean, I know people who do, and I'm just like, I don't know. I couldn't be addicted to anything other. I mean, yes, I guess I'm addicted to nicotine, but like anything else other than that, then I'm like, I don't really. Nicotine doesn't affect you. I mean, it could affect your brain, but not like drugs do. Like weed gets you high. Nicotine doesn't do that to you. I couldn't be addicted to something that is going to affect how I feel every day. So.
Right. And I mean, it depends on the person. Like, some people just choose the life of, like, yeah, like, I'll do this, and they'll, like, do it for stress or whatever, but, like, I mean, if I have, like, I got coffee tonight, I have a caffeine addiction for sure, feeling kind of bogged down, I need caffeine, I mean, it's what it is. I've been working on that, going to the gym, trying to, like, cut that a certain part of the day, but that's when I had a job. Like, so now it's just like whenever, whatever, because I'm going to bed whenever the heck I want.
Yeah.
But it's I don't know, but you guys out there listening, feel free to drop your
Addictions?
what's your addiction? Like, even if you have to just under a anonymous name or something, like, it's, I don't know.
I'll tell you the 3 things I'm addicted to.
What's that?
And I'll rate them in order. Well,
Right.
I can't choose between. Well, I guess I can. I can't. I just can't. Here's 3 of them, and I'm not rating them from worst because they're all 3 addictive. TikTok, caffeine, and nicotine. Those are, like, if I don't have those in my life, I'm pretty sure I'd be on my deathbed. Whenever they were talking about the whole TikTok ban stuff, I'm like, no, can't do that. I don't know. And then they were talking about like all these other apps that are gonna be like TikTok. I was downloading them all, making my accounts because I was like, I'm not going without TikTok. It's not happening, and that is not good for me. I know. But I was laying in bed watching TikTok this morning, waiting on Kevin to get up, and I was thinking, I was like, I saw something that said, stop what you're doing and realize like you were scrolling here for probably 2 hours now just watching 30-second videos of people do day-to-day life stuff. I'm like, how did we get here? How did we get to where people just turn on the camera for 30 seconds to a minute or whatever, post it, and then we just keep scrolling? How is that entertaining? Like, just people singing a song or something. Like, why am I sitting here watching somebody lip sing a song that I've heard a million times before, and I don't even know this person? Like, it was just weird. Like, I get the funny videos, the educational videos, like, all that kind of stuff on TikTok, but I just don't get, like, whenever you get on TikTok and scroll on your phone, then you don't think about it that way. But it's just weird. So then I turned off TikTok and got on Facebook, which not sure is any better,
It's
but
pretty much not much better. As for, like, just, Facebook almost feel worse after scrolling because, number one, they say that they don't promote porn, but there are forms of it, period. TikTok as well, but, like, it's about that algorithm. Once you click on something, it's gonna be, like, the next 10 videos or whatever. And I don't mean porn, but, like, they do get pretty far with, like, explicit. They just overly sexualize women or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I think I have some answers to that. There's a little thing that happens in our brain when we like something or whatever, or caffeine or video games or whatever. Dopamine takes place. So short form content promotes dopamine because you watch a video. Let's say the next 5 videos you scrolled on TikTok is like something you really like. So you got dopamine, and it's in this short form thing. Whenever, like, too much of that, you can, like, you use too much of it and you honestly feel worse. Like, you watch, like, 20 videos and then you just stop and then you're like, whoa, hold on. It's like, I don't know. And it depends on what you watched. Our brains were not meant for, like, all this content. Like, I'm talking, like, everything. Politics, like, oh, people are like, did you see this movie yet on Facebook? Did you see that, like, everything just, like, drops within a day? Stranger Things, like, love Stranger Things, but the whole season drops in one go. You watch it, people are over it within a week.
yeah.
And so my point to that is short form content, which that's a show, but like, people more so are just like, they barely watch something and then they say they have an opinion on it or whatever on the internet, and it's just like, it's so busted and broken, and like, we're just like, and some people have theories on higher ups of the world. Theo Vaughn calls it the dark arts of the world, putting this stuff in front of us to distract us about the real issues in the world. And I wouldn't doubt it, because if anybody's seen the movie WALL-E, where like all those big people, like when he discovers people, there's like, they're all big and they're all like attached to some computer or whatever in a seat. Like, we're all, I mean, if you look at the world and the way it is now and DoorDash and all that stuff, like, that's ironic. Mm-hmm. But we're all becoming that. I mean, we're just like, and I've heard stories of, like, if you go to China right now, every person there walking is all, like, just, like, looking at their phones, and don't know what that is about that country versus ours, but, I mean, we're getting there, too. And it's just busted, man. Like, you just, people would rather, like, have their faces in their phones than, like, look at, like, some art for a long time.
Yeah, and it's kind of...
It's kind of scary. Like, and I know that our world is becoming very self-aware of it. So we're checking in on our mental health. There's things out there that says this is bad for you. So it's not like we're not aware, but it is an addiction, and it's so useless, because, like, it's just not good for you. But.
And, like, it's kind of sad, to be honest, because Kevin gets off work at 3, I get off school at 3:30, he works a ways away, and not a ways away, but he does have a little bit of job, and we normally get home about the same time, and then we'll, like, go in, get comfy clothes on, whatever, and sit down on the couch, on the bed, whatever, and we both pick up our phones and get on TikTok. And then, like, an hour goes by, and we sit on our phone, and we're like, oh, hey, like, how was your day? Like, and that's not great, and it's not like we don't like each other or whatever, it's just that, like, we are so invested in our phones that is whenever we sit, whenever we put our phones down, we're like, oh, hey, like, you're here. Like,
yeah.
Like, you're sitting next to me, and it's just, then it's like, oh, what are we having for dinner? And then we look at the time, we're like, we've already been on our phones for an hour and a half. It's like,
it freaking flies when you scroll and scroll.
Yeah.
That's what's really interesting about it. But,
yeah. And my TikTok this week, I had to get off for, like, a day. And I know that a day is not that long, but whenever you're so addicted to TikTok, then it is. Because it was full of Colleen and Melly. And I know you probably don't know who those people are. But, I've been watching Colleen Ballinger and I'm probably, if a lot of people watch this, I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this, but I don't care.
and there's probably young people that watch, will listen and relate.
Yeah. But I've been watching Colleen Ballinger for 10 years. I was young whenever I started watching her. Also known as Miranda Sting, she has a show, Haters Back Off. But she allegedly was sending inappropriate text to a young boy, and this came to light 3 years ago. She got on, addressed everything, showed that it was a fake account, like cleared her name, whatever you want to call it. Well, now another person is coming back up saying Colleen paid me to say all this stuff about the boy who originally came out with that first video 3 years ago, and it's just now coming up again, and she's on tour right now, and like she just had twins, well, about a year ago now, but I've been watching, does daily vlogs Monday through Friday, and I've watched every single day. Like, that was my one thing. I was like, whenever I get home, I get to watch her. Like, I would sit there and watch to see if she uploaded a video. Like, I was so excited to go to her show. Then I found out I had school and Kevin had work, we weren't able to go or whatever, but like, if I had to choose anybody's show to go to, it would be hers. And now she hasn't posted, after posting every day for like 5 years vlogging, she hasn't posted in 10 days now. And it's like, everything on my For You page on TikTok is like, people coming out, well, she did this, she did that, she did this, but like no receipts of saying it. And I honestly think one person posted a video about her, it blew up. Now everybody's trying to post just for the money.
Clout. And all that,
And the whole cancel culture thing, I hate it.
Right.
Like, a lot of people get off YouTube because of it. Just like Jenna. I don't know if you know who that is or not. Jenna Marbles.
Yeah. Marbles,
But, and then the whole Melly thing about his court case and he's been in jail for 5 years. I'm a really big fan of him. You don't really listen to rap music, so you probably don't know who that is.
A little bit here and there, but not. No.
Yeah. No, not this kind of rap music. But no. But we have 3 more days till we find out what the verdict is for him. But no, it's just been all over my For You page. Just like, I've seen these videos 100 times about people talking about what Colleen did, talking about the evidence they have against Melly, all this kind of stuff. And it's like, why do these same videos keep popping up over and over and over and over and over again? Yeah. And it's like getting burnt out.
It's the viral thing too, and like, and people think they have a say on something they don't understand or they weren't even involved in.
Yeah.
They want to get clout, whatever, but that's just kind of the dark world we're in now. There are good people out there, but there are a lot of people that are out there to just get views.
It was honestly making me sad because, like, for somebody you've watched and supported for 10 years, just to hear her name bashed whenever you know that she's not that kind of person.
Yeah.
And Kevin asked me, he hasn't really watched her, a couple times, but he was like, how do you know she's not that kind of person? She's just over a screen. You don't really know who she is. And it's like, whenever you watch somebody religiously for 10 years, yeah, you feel like you know them. You feel like you know them personally. Like, I've watched her kids grow up. I watched her son be born, who's now 4 years old. Like, and he's like, you didn't watch that. You watched her over screen. I'm like, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, but Kevin really isn't.
Well, it's the same thing as, like, even a fictional show. Like, you get attached to the characters, and you like the character, even though it's an actor doing it. But, like, in a way, I mean, people on YouTube and TikTok can do that too, where they act. But some of them that are the vloggers and stuff, they try to bring you the realest stuff. And when it comes to vlogging and stuff, like, I always believe, like, you shouldn't really, like, put everything out there, but just like, especially where you live and all that.
Yeah.
But like, I was gonna say something a second ago. I'm trying to remember what it was.
Well, like, with that whole situation, like, the thing is about being attached to a YouTuber, like, her twins were born and in the NICU, and she would get on and she would, like, update us and she would cry, and, like, she also struggles with depression and anxiety really bad, and like she's talked about it, why she like, and I've cried with her, like I can relate to her, and I feel like she can relate to me. Like that was my escape per se. That was actually healthy for me. So
it is interesting. It's fun to like. I feel like it is fun to like watch other people's lives, and it is kind of like watching a show or whatever. It's escapism. I just think like when it comes to like TikTok and throwing so many videos at us at once, like it's overload is what it is. Whenever if you just kind of dived into that one person for a while. That's why I do like a lot of long form content, because people that make like more documentary style stuff on their lives and stuff with YouTube, like I feel more attached. Also, I'm not like just constantly like my brain is getting fried like I'm like watching one whole piece. Sometimes, it's not the mood for that to watch a 20-minute video. Sometimes it is the mood to just scroll through something or get some kind of short form thing. But I mean, I've heard a lot of stories, man. I've heard a lot of stories of like YouTubers that meet TikTokers, and a lot of YouTubers have come out to say like those TikTokers, a lot of them, and not to shame anybody that does TikTok. I've dabbled in TikTok. Like it's whatever. It's generally it's a good platform for entertainment, but they pretty much claim like, bro, they're not real people because they're just so like YouTubers are the same way, but a lot of TikTokers, and not all of them, but like supposedly a lot of them are just so move out of my way, I need to make content, because they make like 20 videos a day so that they can hit the algorithm. Mm-hmm. So it's just like a constant, and your mind's constantly into that. What's that one girl's name that it's like came out recently talking about, not came out, but like she admitted to her depression and her eating disorder and all that. What is her name? She's a TikToker, and she's like just pure comedy. Like she always does skits where she's like pretending to be like a mom, and then it cuts to her. Like the lady, okay, she's the girl that has the little toy baby hand. Like little blonde girl. Yeah, about. Like I've seen her talk on podcasts. I've seen her talk on, and I've learned a lot about her just from appreciating just her as an individual. And I don't relate to a lot of her issues, but I'm glad that she has kind of like spoken out about the unhealthiness of like when she blew up and how she felt responsible for like, okay, like 60 million people or whatever, however many, like I'm just guessing her numbers, but she said something like 60 million people are like, expecting you to make a video today because she made like 5 a day or whatever, and then she had to eventually just kind of like take mental health breaks and be like, look, like I can't do that all the time and constantly like basically sleep, eat, and content creation in your brain, it's like you just obsess over what am I gonna, like forcing content because coming up with really good ideas kind of take time sometimes to hit you. Call me Chris, that's her name. It's like Chris with a K, I think. But she seems wonderful, and like I feel for her story, and I'm glad that she's like honest about it, and like I don't know, it's interesting the differences, but like what I was gonna say earlier, like YouTube is becoming like TikTok, because I've even noticed with my own channel, like I'm a channel like whatever my numbers or whatever, but I'm nearing 4,000 subscribers. I've had time put into this thing. And so I know a little bit about like how much YouTube has changed. And like they are pushing shorts. Like that is the only way to get views now. It just really is. It's not the only way, but like not with my kind of content. People want the quick, like just, So right when TikTok came out, YouTube's like, hey, we got to have our own version of that. YouTube Shorts, and now it's its own like page on YouTube where you see it like the up and down, like that format, the phone format.
I've heard Netflix is coming out with Netflix Shorts.
God, I'm sure it is, and I mean,
it's actually it is. It's on my phone. Like you can't do it on the TV, but you can do it on your phone. Yeah. And I'm like, it's just like little clips from movies, and then it has like the option to watch the movie. So it's kind of like trailers, but not really.
Yeah, and I mean, it's one of those things. Our world's heading to it, but it's got its benefits. It's got its downfalls. I just think people need to, like, definitely keep an eye on your mental health when it comes to, like, constantly, like, not doing anything with your life and just sitting and scrolling. Like, just, it's like, watch out for that, because it'll kind of come back to bite you, I feel like. But everyone loves content. Everybody loves entertainment. I'm a huge sucker for it, obviously, and I like to entertain. But I don't know. But I have started kind of making shorts on YouTube because I'm just like, I mean, whatever helps, like, me get into the algorithm. I mean, like, it is what it is. But I feel like you were gonna say something.
Oh, I don't remember. I'm over here yawning.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I was gonna say. It's one of those nights where, like, my mind just keeps going blank. I'm sitting in Walmart today, and what was I gonna say?
Walmart?
Oh, yes, I was in Walmart today, and it was so hot outside.
Yeah.
And I almost I thought I was gonna pass out. And we were walking out the door, and I was like, I have to sit down. I can't do this. And he's like, do you want to go get the car? I was like, no, just sit. Just sit here. And then, like, it was like my brain just went black, and I felt like I couldn't breathe, which has happened before, especially when it gets really hot. And honestly, I don't want to, like, self-diagnose myself, but I'm pretty sure, like, I do have low iron, because if I'll stand up, I feel like I'm about to pass out, and anytime I lay down, then I feel nauseous. So that is, like, a few symptoms or whatever, but maybe I'm just extremely dehydrated because I drink water once a month.
We've talked about that one.
Yeah, Kevin was like, here, I'll buy some Propels, will you drink those? I was like, yeah, and then got home and grabbed a Coke out of the fridge.
Yeah, it's easy to do.
Yes. Oh, did I tell you about how Mom scared me the other morning?
No. Story time.
Story time. Oh, my goodness. So, Mom told me she was having tubes put in her ears a couple weeks ago.
Right.
Well, I get a phone call about 4 times from a random number at 7 o'clock in the morning. I get up at, like, 7:45, 8 o'clock, so I was like, you're waking me up right before my alarm goes off, and that's a no-go. I'm like, do not wake me up right before my alarm goes off. I need that extra 45 minutes of sleep. And they called me, like, 4 times, and then I finally answered. I was like, hello. I was so mad because I was half asleep. And she's like, hi, is this Lacey? And I was like, yeah, it is.
Yeah, I'm groggy. Yes. Tell me what you need to say. Goodbye.
And they're like, hi, this is so-and-so from so-and-so. We have your mom here. And I immediately woke up. I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, she's going to be under anesthesia, and I just didn't want her making any decisions today or signing any paperwork or driving in the next 24 hours. And I was like, still confused on what was going on.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, why is she there?
She put you like, as the contact.
Yes. And she's like, she's going to have tubes in her ears. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going back to sleep. Like, it's not that I didn't care.
Right.
It was just that, like, I'm half asleep and
it's too much information.
You just scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
So I didn't go back to sleep. I was very mad that morning. But yeah, Mom was like, "Are you gonna come see me after surgery at 8:30?" And I'm like,
in the morning?
Yes. She went in at 7:30, and it only took them about 30 minutes. And I was like, Mom, I love you, but I can't miss school, and because our school, so Fridays are always mandatory days, and the day before and the day after a holiday is mandatory day, and if you're not there, they charge you $25, even if you miss 1 minute off the clock. So I was like, Mom, I have to be at school, or unless you're gonna pay me $25 to come see you, then I gotta go to school. So yeah, I mean, it just scared the crap out of me, and I was like, okay, Mom lives like a drive away from us, and I'm not sure, she doesn't drive on interstate, so how'd she get from here to there?
I have no idea.
And
I was surprised that I didn't get asked certain things. I was like, okay, well.
No, well, she had like a doctor, like Dr. Van or whatever they're called, like they offered to give her a ride for her surgery.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, but the thoughts that was going through my brain, and because she was at our local hospital, and I'm like, if she if something happened to her, why was she here? And
Yeah.
it's like, that was the thoughts going through my brain. I'm like, I know she didn't drive here. Like, did she have to get, like, med flighted? Or, like, there were so many thoughts going through my brain.
Pick up the house.
Yeah. And I'm like,
what?
She doesn't wake up till 10. Why was she up at 7 o'clock in the morning going somewhere anyway?
Right.
It was just, yeah, it was like...
Let us know in the comments, guys, if you have a story about just getting woke up and being afraid, and like there's plenty of them. I've had days like from work where like I thought I was late. Like I told Ryan about this. I was like, that whole thing where like your phone doesn't tell you if it's AM or PM. So if you went to bed at like 3 or 4 a.m. and then you wake up at 5, I keep thinking in that split second, is it 5 p.m.? Am I 4 hours late to work?
Yeah.
And like I literally have had like sleepwalking days like that where I look at my phone, it's like 5:09 and I freaking jump up and I start getting dressed in the closet and then it like hits me. Like it's like I realize, it's like my brain finally registers that I'm way too groggy and tired to have slept 8 hours. I'm just like, I think it's been like an hour. I'm gonna go back to sleep. Like, it's so weird. And like, I told Ashley, I'm like, I need to get like a clock that actually says AM and PM. The other day, I almost kind of did that, but I just Googled, what time is it? Like AM or, like, literally, like, just because I couldn't tell, like, I could tell, but, like, I didn't know if the time was AM or PM, so, and I didn't even think about that till recently, like, our phones don't, on default, they don't say AM or PM.
Yeah.
Like, and I tried to find that on iPhone, I had to do that. If anybody knows how to do that, let me know, but all I could change it to was, like, 24-hour time.
I know how to do it.
But that doesn't say AM or PM, I'm like, well, okay, alright.
Yeah. It, like, what was it? Oh, yeah. That's what I was going to say. I saw a TikTok the other day.
Speaking of TikTok.
Kevin was already asleep. I was laying in bed. And I was like, and I know this is mean. Call me mean girlfriend. I don't care. He had work the next morning. Whatever.
Everything is, just whatever. Moving on.
It was like, wake up your husband or boyfriend or whatever and tell them to go get you McDonald's or that you want McDonald's. I was like, I want McDonald's. Babe, I want McDonald's. He was like, can I just DoorDash you something? And then falls back asleep. And I was like, can you order it now? He was like, yeah. Goes back to sleep. 30 minutes later, I wake him up. And I'm like,
yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
I was like, did you order it? He was like, order what? And this time he was like, I was like, McDonald's. You just said we can go to McDonald's. He was like, I don't remember saying that.
It's like you're half kind of messing with him a little bit. Like,
yeah. He was like, what time is it? I was like, it's only 11. You've only been asleep for 2 hours. He's like, I feel like you're lying. I'm like, I'm not lying. He's like, something feels off. And I'm like, nothing's off. You've just...
Nothing's off.
He's like, do you swear it's not 3 o'clock? Because he has to wake up at like 3:30. Yeah, he has to leave at 3:45. So he wakes up about, anyway. But he was like, you swear it's not 3? I'm like, no, it's really not. Why would I be awake at 3 o'clock in the morning? He was like, okay. He's like, wait, show me your time. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he really doesn't. So I showed it to him. He's like, all right, go back to sleep.
He's like, all right, good night.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets confusing, man. It's like, you wake up, I don't even want to know how, like, Alaska deals with what they deal with, because I'm pretty sure they have, like, multiple daylight days and multiple night days, or nights. I don't know. I don't know the orbit of Alaska, or, like, geographical, whatever you want to call it. Like, I just know that, like, in the UK, I memorized it because one of my friends, Mike, is from the UK, and he is 6 hours ahead. So I'm always able to keep up with that, and I've been on, like, a live stream with him on his YouTube channel, where, like, it's, like, you know, it was freaking noon for him and 6 a.m. for me, but told him it'd just be easier for me to just stay up. And be on the live stream than, like, have to wake up early to do it. But I think he thought I was a little insane with that, but I'm like, it's hard to explain to people, like, dude, like I have, like, a night owl schedule. Like, I'm not crazy. I'm just like, certain people have this. Like, my wife is, for instance, It's like wakes up for work at 4:45 p.m., goes to work, and then gets off at like 6-ish a.m. Like, well, she leaves and it's a little bit of a drive, so it's 12 to 13 hour shifts. And I mean, people are just like, my dad even is just like, y'all like that lifestyle? I'm like, yes, like I wouldn't do it otherwise.
Yeah.
But we like sleep.
Not for me.
But I mean, you had that before though.
Yeah.
It's like you kind of, before you went to school and stuff, like your schedule was a lot like mine, but now the question is, with a new job for me, like, what will be my schedule? I would like to
Remain the same.
I would like to remain close to the same or closer to Ashley's night shift situation, but if I had to do something 9 to 5, then obviously I would adjust, whatever. But, you know, so who knows? It's one of those feelings. I'm free right now, and the road is just the horizon. Like, it's just like I'm excited about, okay, whatever opportunity lands is, you know, it's kind of that feeling of like unlimited possibilities, and we'll see what happens. I mean, like, you know, so I could find a job that's kind of like a little part-time thing till I find what I want to do, but obviously I have things I want to do the rest of my life, like what would make me happy. But I mean, a lot of that stuff you got to go to school for. So I don't know. Yeah, we got some more time. So yeah, new opportunities for me. I feel like kind of both in the same way with our lives. You're going to school, and obviously, I mean, you said your whole dream is to open your own place, open your own salon.
It sure is.
Sure is. Which that'll be hype.
Yeah. Oh, wait. You know. Well, never mind.
What?
I was gonna say that I didn't know if y'all knew this or not, but you don't have to have a license to work in a salon shampooing, conditioning people's hair. So I was like, you know, I'll just open my own business and just hire you to shampoo and condition people's hair all day. Because why not?
Have you pondered on names for this place?
No.
You're like, no, not really. I just think obviously I'm like, you know, I'm biased on, like, I've had so many different creative outlets that I've had to come up with so many names, like us trying to come up with this podcast name, and which was fun for me. I love brainstorming that stuff.
What's the name?
Huh?
What's her name?
Mr. and the Sister Podcast. Like, she forgot. Oh my god.
No, listen, I heard him talking about in the beginning of this podcast about experimenting with the mic and all. I'm like, I just sit here and talk, and then I go home and go to bed. Like, I don't even know anything about this mic, the software, like to stream, like all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know any of it. I just know I sit here and talk and put my input in, and then I go home.
Well, that makes it sound like you didn't want to do the pod.
No, it's just that, like, normally whenever we film, the past couple times it's been late at night, and...
Oh, yeah, this was the earliest one.
Yeah.
Which now that I don't have a job, I was like, hey, I won't have to wait till 10 p.m. to pick you up this time. Let's go, let's pod. Like,
yeah, so now it's not even, like...
That's why I was
finished by 10 p.m.
Like, that's why I was telling you guys at the front of this. I was like, you know, you might. I mean, until I find a new job, we'll have more time to do this. Like, you're still going to school, but like, it doesn't have to be limited. But like, I still want to kind of space out the episodes, and like, even if we record, I'm just gonna release them like every so little while, just because. I mean. That way there's one, and it's like you kind of listen to that one, you kind of are held over a little bit, and then and you kind of build up to the next one. But it only makes the build up to recording again better, at least to me, because it's like it feels less like when you record the very next night. Not that when we did that, because that was for a reason. But like there is kind of, I'm not saying there's less to talk about, but it's just so much fresher when you come back. And it's just like life updates and like blah blah blah. You know what I mean?
I think we're gonna record tomorrow.
Okay, yeah. That was...
I thought we talked about this. So Monday is Juneteenth, so I'm off of school. Do you know what Juneteenth is?
Well, you were trying to kind of tell me what it.
The day the African American slaves were freed.
Okay.
If I'm wrong on that, don't come for me, because that's all I heard whenever my instructor was telling me about it. All I knew is I was off school and I was like, amen. You're right.
Amen. That's just. But then it's like weird because that's a Sunday, so I'm not understanding what the difference. Aren't you off Sundays? School?
Right, but if I come over tomorrow night, then I can't stay up late. But normally tomorrow I can.
Oh, okay. So Monday. Okay.
Monday I'm off.
Okay.
So I have 3 free nights: Friday, Saturday, and Sunday instead.
Right.
Right. We
I'm just trying to say that I have like free time and have
literally 24/7.
like 24/7. We could figure out stuff. You know, and I mean, honestly, guys, I would love to do something like this for a living, you know, but that's kind of up to the algorithm and like, you know, it's like follow us and you know, I act like that's Twitch. Subscribe and follow on the listening platforms, which I have not got set up yet.
See,
but yeah. What?
I don't remember what I was going to talk about. Oh yeah, I was going to talk a little bit about therapy and how that went.
Okay.
We're kind of all over the place on this podcast, but who cares?
This is how we talk to each other.
If you've gotten this far,
this is how siblings talk to each other, at least us.
If you've gotten this far, hey Ryan, I know you have. Probably the only one, but yeah, because Kevin asked me the other day, he was like, "Have you listened to the podcast?" I'm like, "No, I said it. Why would I listen to it? I already know what happened." Like, I feel like it would be the same if I was acting in a movie or something.
Right.
I would be like, I literally read the script and I know what happened. Why would I watch it? It's like not. The whole reason is like to build suspense or like to watch. You know what I mean? Like, it's to tell a story, to watch a show. And if I already know the story, then I don't know.
My only argument against that, and I mean, I know you kind of have like a thing with that, and you have probably the thing that if I was not a YouTuber already or not a streamer and like have to hear my own voice and all this stuff, I'd probably feel the exact same way and have to get comfortable with it. So one, you're not wanting to hear your own voice. For two, it's like you feel like you heard the story. But my argument against it is like when I do go back and listen to our episodes, I'm like, it's almost like. I'm like surprised. I'm not surprised what we said, but I'm just like, some of it is like new. I'm like, oh yeah, we talked about this. Like I'll forget, what we talked about, and it's like, but plus that's just, I need to hear how it sounded, and like so I'll like
We may be filming tomorrow night anyway because this may sound like crap again.
It may not. I doubt it. I doubt it.
I hope not.
Like,
therapy. So, one thing that my therapist told me to try that didn't work last night, it really made me mad. No, but, so, like I've said before, I do struggle with depression and anxiety, and recently it's not been the best. My mental health has not been the best, but, like, I'm still, I'm still working to get better.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I'm saying. So, she told me, even if I don't want to go somewhere or don't want to do something, then find one reason that is so simple to just go, to just do it. So, a few days ago, I was like, I really don't want to go to school today, and I texted one of my friends from school, Hannah, and I was like, I'm not coming to school today. She's like, I'll give you one reason to come to school, and I was like, okay, what is it? She's like, we'll race there, and I was like, bet, I'm going to beat you. I beat her, and then I was going to try to leave at lunch. I went to go clock out. She's like, you're not leaving. And I was like, why? She's like, I'll race you home. And I was like, okay. So then I beat her home, and then she beat me home that day. The next morning, got up, we raced to school. Like, of course we weren't doing, like, illegal speeds or whatever.
Right.
My car doesn't even go over 60, but anyway. We took different roads and, like, saw who can get there faster.
Yeah.
Well, that morning, I woke up, didn't even talk to her. We just raced to school. And then on the way home, we didn't talk about racing home, but we did. At least I thought. And I'm sitting at her apartment because we live in the same complex. And I'm sitting there waiting on her to come, and I call her. I'm like, where are you at? She's like, I'm at the store. And I'm like, I done raced you home. If I would have known we were racing home, I would have left.
Yeah, it was just like a way to get you to do it. But that is actually, I mean, that's very powerful, actually. And I mean, like we've told you guys, we're open to talk about the deep stuff, open to talk about mental health. I mean, I think, like, that's one thing that does inspire me to do like something like a podcast, because like I've said in probably previous episodes, I don't know, I'm probably gonna repeat myself a few times, but like that is something we talk about, like even outside of this. So like we're very big advocates on it. Like we're aware of, like, it's not like one of us is behind. What's that? What's depression? Like we know, and like two different ages, but we're very self-aware, and that is actually really powerful to me now that I think about it. That'll probably be something that I can use sometime. But I do it in my own way, I guess, when I'm like, I don't want to go to the gym today. Well, what's the benefit of going to the gym? Feeling better after. Don't you want to feel better? Yeah. Okay, then go. So I like two different versions of myself, like arguing. But we do that. There's restriction. And in that situation, I'm glad your friend did that, because you don't need to miss school, and you don't need to miss school, and they told you, come talk to us, which I'm sure you're like, nah, bro. We never know, you got an actual therapist. Yeah. But then now you can look forward to, like with my therapist, like you can look forward to bringing it to her.
Yes. So last night, love my boyfriend to death. That's nothing against him. Just put that disclaimer out there just in case he's listening. Last night, he was like, I'm gonna go skating, and I was just not in the best mood yesterday. Like, I just wanted to lay in bed, didn't want to get out of bed, and I just was feeling really overwhelmed. The house was dirty, had homework, whatever. Well, I got some homework done, and he's like, we can go skating. And I was like, okay, I really don't want to go. And he's like, just come on, we can go. I was like, in my head, I was thinking, okay, well, at least we can go ice skating. And, like, I like that part. I really don't like rollerblading. He loves it. He's good at it. So then we get up to go, and I was like, let me see what time they close. And then I said they close at whatever time. And he was like, oh, we're not going there. We're going to the rollerblading place. And I was like, well, there was my reason to go. And then he was like, are you hungry? And I was like, yeah. So I made me some food, and I overcooked it. Tasted awful because I was getting ready. And then he was like, it's okay. We'll just get you some McDonald's on the way. Love McDonald's. Then we get in the car, and he's like, is it okay if we just go to McDonald's after? And I'm like, there went my other reason to go. So then they also have like a bowling alley on the other side. And we get there, and the bowling alley part is closed. And Casey was like, we'll go. My other reason. Yeah, and I was like, there went all three of my reasons I just made up to go. So then I'm just sitting there, I'm like, dang, all three of my reasons. But, I mean, I did have fun. But, like, it's just...
It's that restriction.
Yeah, it's like, man, I was really looking forward to it.
Right. I mean, it's very powerful, something. And I've always believed, like, this is anything in life. Everyone's going to have a bad day. Everyone's going to have a bad whatever. Like, but having something to look forward to is so powerful to me. I've always felt that way. I feel like even before I was aware of mental health and all that stuff, like as a teenager, I feel like I always tried to have something to look forward to. Mm-hmm. And I think you have to in life, because life is short. Any of us could die tomorrow, and it's like, I mean, you gotta have something to look forward to. Like even in my situation, I'm gonna keep breezing over it, but I no longer have a job. Mm-hmm. It sounds so harsh to say, but it's just reality, and I'm a very honest person. But I'm careful what I share. But I don't have a job, but I'm looking, and I'm like, how, I can view this as a negative all I want. I can be depressed. I can lay in bed and be like, I don't have a job. Well, what am I gonna do about it? So I have to look forward to new opportunity. You're getting, unless I find another job that's like this, you're getting out of retail, or at least this company. You don't have to work for this company again. You literally have a choice to never work for this company again. And you can find something else. Might even something that pays better. Maybe something that makes you happy. What happened the other day might be the best thing that's ever happened to me. We'll see. But, right now it's just kind of like there are pros and there's cons. But right now, like I said, I'm free. So it's just like, it's like 80% of like, I'm free, and I'm happy right now because, like, I was getting burnt out anyway. it was what it was. It's not how I wanted to live for the rest of my life. Wow. But Lacey was just like, here's the cats with I guess, yeah, Kevin.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said I guess.
They're
What other man be in your bed? But
no,
but
they're snuggling right now. I'm kind of jealous because she never really snuggles with me anymore. She's kind of outgrowing it, I guess. But whenever I'm not home, then she's always snuggling with him, and I'm like, I'm your mom. I feed you and clean up your poop. Like,
right. But yeah, guys, if you're struggling in life, things are getting dark. Please have something to look forward to. There's always something. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. It sounds cliche, but truly, there's always something to live for. And
and
yeah,
something she told me to do, which I didn't really do this, but I just kind of talked. But anyway, she's like, if you ever feel depressed or like beating yourself up, you're like, because I have been doing that. I'm like, man, like, I have a pretty good life. I'm going to school. Like, I have friends. I have my boyfriend. I have my mom and my dad. Like, why am I so depressed? Why do I have anxiety? Why am I like this? And she was like, go through and write everything down that you've been through this year. And even if you haven't been through anything, but she was just like, write down everything you've been this year, or tell me about it. And I told her, like, I suffered 2, like, extremely hard losses. Like, we got into a bad car wreck. I started school. Like, I lost one of my jobs because I got into the car wreck. Like, I've lost friends. Like, and she's like, you have a reason. Like, you don't have to have a reason to be depressed, but you should not be beating yourself up for having your mental health not being the best because you have a reason for it not to be the best.
Yeah. And I believe in that too, where you have to just accept, like, look, some people just you have to, like, take time, like, if you're broken right now, inside or on the outside or whatever, I think the first step in something like that is acceptance, because whenever you deny stuff, it just makes it worse. Some people bury stuff, builds up over time, explode later. And, it's just, we all do it. We're human. We bury stuff. I bury stuff. My therapist, I think, has kind of, like, pulled some stuff out of me that, like, maybe he's made me understand some things about childhood and stuff like that a little better. Or it's just nice to hear from an adult, like, older man to say, hey, this might be the reason for this, or this might be the reason for this. It's a beautiful thing, because, like, and boy, let me tell you, like, my therapist is on a vacation right now, so I'm not seeing him every other Monday, and so I'm seeing him on July 3rd next, and I cannot wait because he's gonna be like, what? Because I'm gonna have big news and all this stuff. But I get excited about seeing him because he's just such a cool guy and has a lot of wisdom.
Yeah, and I was telling her, I was like, I really don't know why I've been sad this past month, like. I can't just point a finger on it. And she's like, well, have you suffered any, like, have you lost your job? Have you lost a relationship? Have you lost a friendship? Have you lost anybody? And I was like, yeah, well, I just lost my Nana, which is my dad's mom, 6 weeks ago. And she was like, and you're telling me you don't know why you're sad.
Right.
And she's like, like, people process grief differently. And it could just be, like, still affecting you. I'm like, yeah, and, like, I miss her, but, like, I don't know why I'm so sad because she did have cancer. She did pass from cancer. She was in a lot of pain and she wanted to go. Like, she like, that's what she wanted more than anything in the world. She knew it wasn't possible after 5 years with cancer. Like, she knew it wasn't possible to not be in pain anymore. So she's like, okay, then I want to go to heaven where I'm not going to be in pain anymore.
Yeah.
And, like, I knew that when she passed that, like, she was going to be happy. But it's like, I told myself I wasn't going to be sad over that. Definitely not for this long because I know she's happy now. But that could just be the back of my mind, the real reason for it. But then, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I was about to say in that, my reply to that was going to be, like, you don't even realize that sometimes what you're sad about. Like, our brains are so complex. I'm always so interested to listen to podcasts or doctors be on podcasts and, like, psychiatrists and stuff talk about, like, like the human mind is so like complex where we don't even know why we're feeling a certain way sometimes. And like it's like there's like human instinct where something that's happened even the past few weeks, we think it's in the back of our mind now, but really it is like channeling through it's like affecting everything. And I think that is a case of that with you with this. And like, you know, we'll talk about it in the future some more, but maybe like with our other loss, I feel like I kind of discovered that as well. Like I learned something through that loss, which is like, you can only like put off the grieving so much, it's just gonna filter out anyway. So I just tried to kind of slowly, day by day, like, okay, allow yourself to think about her, allow yourself to feel those feelings. And like whenever my therapist said, because he found out about it, it just kind of came out at one point, like, because we were talking about childhood and stuff like that and who I was raised by and stuff, and I just went ahead and admitted it, and like we just lost her like a few months ago or whatever. And he was like, I wonder if you have fully like grieved all the way through, because it's like a 6 to 7 month process. I was like, what? Like, that blows your mind. Like, I mean, but I am willing to accept just grieving takes a long time. It could take a year, 2 years, whatever.
And see, that's what
but yeah.
I was telling Kevin, I was driving the car and like I was looking at pictures of her and I was like, it's been 7 months. That's crazy. It feels like it's flew by. Like, it feels like it was yesterday.
Yeah, whenever we hit the year mark, it's not going to feel right.
No, it definitely won't. We haven't even talked about it on the podcast, and I feel like we've both kind of been avoiding it, but, like,
right.
I feel like I want to, because that is a big part of our life, and I feel like it made us closer in a way. But, I mean, right. we've always been super close, but during that time, then we were really close.
Yeah. I think like a following up. We're like we're at the hour, and I think that's fine. Like I think she kind of deserves more time with something like that.
She deserves like 5 episodes.
Oh yeah, she deserves like all of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just, because as soon as you said that, I'm like, yeah.
Well, the reason I say that is because you just said, yeah, we lost her, and like it's like them listening is like, who is her?
Yeah. I mean, and so we can go over it at some point, and but just know, like, and people are gonna be able to relate, like, it's
a hard topic.
Huh?
I said it's a hard topic.
Yeah, it's a hard topic, but like, I think kind of how, I'm not saying like one grandma at a time, like that's not what I mean, but whenever you bring up your Nana, I'm like, okay, well, like let's talk about your Nana then, and like we'll, but they were so, it was within like a few months apart, so it's different. It's not like,
and that's why I feel like this one has been, I wouldn't say harder, because it's not harder because
of her. It doesn't help though.
Yeah, it's not harder because of her. It's harder because it wasn't the same, but it was the same scenario.
It's like you're not fully over the grieving of one, and then this hits you, and it's like you told me when it happened, or whenever your Nana was passing, before she even actually passed, you were saying like, I feel like I'm literally in the same thing again.
Yeah.
But just
with
different side
parent.
of the family. Like, yeah, literally. Like, it's actually exactly what it was.
It's been even harder this time because my Nana and my Papa were together for 50 years. And
man, that's a long time.
Yeah.
Weren't they like, because you said they were like, that was like first loves or whatever,
yes,
basically.
they got married at 16. They were the
16 years old. That's a different time. If you could get married at 16. But daggone.
Yeah, it's been hard for him, and he doesn't really have a lot of family here, so I wasn't really upset. I was upset whenever my Nana passed. I was even more upset knowing that he had to live without his wife that he's been with for 50 years. That was hard to process. But, I mean, he's still in great health, and literally everything he does is still for her. He will build stuff and set it outside her. Like, I mean, he is not even that upset about it because he watched her go through cancer. So, And that's why, like, I've talked about this. I was talking about it with one of my friends at school the other day about how it happened and everything. She's like, "Why are you not upset?" Like, I would be bawling my eyes out. I'm like, because she's not in pain. Like, it was even worse whenever she was in pain. If I would talk about her while she's in pain, I would be so upset. But now it's
Amen.
like she's not in pain anymore. Like, why would I be upset for her?
Amen.
So, I mean, just watching your body go through cancer has to be one of the hardest things.
And sometimes, like, with our mutual loss, you know, I'll go into it in the future, but sometimes I do almost feel selfish because, you know, it's funny, after she passed, like, I've been seeing that post. I actually saw that that Facebook post resurface again. It's like the image of, like, a person sticking their head in the ground.
I just saw that today.
And, like, yeah, it's like in your face is a skull and your body. It's like a naked person, and they've got, like, their head in the ground, and they're basically trying to look at, like, their loved one in a coffin or whatever. It's like, basically, don't die with your dead.
Yeah.
And the personality of our mutual loss, she told Peggy many a times, like,
Our mom.
our mom. Yeah.
We haven't, no. I was just going to say, who's Peggy? That's what they're going to be thinking.
Well, if we ever say Peggy, that is our mom.
Yes.
That's why we are alive.
Yeah.
Like, that's why we are half siblings. And, you know, but,
No.
But y'all will get to know us more as you listen. And we love y'all if you're still here, we love you.
Yeah.
But what was I gonna say? That Peggy said, like, that she had told her, like, I don't want you, and I can hear her say this too, like, I don't want you grieving for me, and, you know, like, go on with your life, because, I mean, at the end of the day, yes, there was, like, it's kind of hard to say, because it sounds so mean, but there was, like, a freedom released of, like, because somebody doesn't have to take care of her anymore.
Yes.
And we don't have to worry about her anymore.
Because she was completely dependent on
Even though the worry is, like, because you don't want someone to die.
Yeah.
But, like, it was to a point where, like, that's unfortunately probably the best thing. Yeah. Like, and that is rough to say, and it sounds horrible, but you guys that know what I'm talking about get it. Yeah. When you see people in hospice on just their, you know, they're just at the end, and, like, it, you know, and even before hospice, like, I mean, she was always falling, everything was always, you know, like I said, future episode, I'm going to try to put a cap on it.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's still to this day, even after 6 months, like you said, 7, I can't even keep up anymore, that I still feel selfish. I still feel like I want her here, but it's like, look, I know she's happier, and it is kind of rough, because it's like, you don't see that, though.
Yeah.
You don't get to witness it. If we got to see it through a window, it'd be totally different.
Yeah.
But that's what faith is. That's what God gives you, is, you know, the faith. And, you know, I have no doubt in my mind, but it's just still processing it, honestly, but...
And we will process it in a different episode.
right, after these messages. But no, it is what it is, you know, and comment, guys, if you had a loss. Share your story if you want to share, and, you know, we would love to read anything, you know,
yeah.
want you guys
this
you know.
got kind of depressing, but it's okay.
Yes, but
that's what the podcast is for anything and everything you want to talk about.
Yes,
that is PG rated.
Right. But I don't know, anything else maybe on a lighter note before we start to wrap it up?
I don't have to go to bed tonight until whatever time I want, so we're gonna go hang out some more.
We're gonna go DoorDash.
Yes, hopefully we'll make some moolah.
I need that money now.
But it is 10 p.m. and I am tired. But gotta get some caffeine in me. This Sprite caffeine free is not gonna do it for me.
Nope. I just need to buy some Cokes just specifically
You
for
really
your
do.
podcasting. But anyway, guys, I think we're going to wrap it up. Email us. The email is in the description. I'm going to try to get this podcast on the audio platforms. It is on YouTube right now. Like the video. We will holler at y'all next time. Look forward to more episodes, maybe a little at a faster pace until I get like a new job. And we will figure that out as we go. But I also don't want to tease you guys where I just like slam y'all with episodes and then all of a sudden I have to halt for a little while. Like I like an even pace, but also am excited to record because now I have time to do it. But we love y'all and
We do.
stay safe out there. Please do not do anything too crazy. If you do DoorDash, do it with somebody,
Yes.
especially late at night. But we love y'all, and have a great one.
Bye.